Hey, it's Adventureruler. I just ate soup and some buttered bread. I'm ready for an analysis. Nomic versus Dr. Dak. Game 1. They gentlemen's to story. And Nomic is off, bolting off the right plant right after Dr. Dak. But Doc will get first blood, actually, with a simple but clean pill for 7%. But first Doc goes down a bit different. Doc approaches with pill, but shoots it in the wrong direction. And the result of this was Nomic getting in with some kicking combos. Nomic then predicts the jump out of hit stun and gets the very early spike on Doc at only 21%. In the first 21 seconds. What's 9 plus 10? Next Doc was actually Dr. Dak. And this was sick. After Doc tries for a Doctor down air, Nomic whiff punishes it with a sweep F-tilt, sending Doc flying to the left. Nomic tried to complete the edge guard with a PK fire, but Doc air dodges just in time. Dr. Mario's directional air dodge is atrocious. It could practically mean game over if you do it off stage. But not in the UnDying like tournament, baby! Doc does a reverse up special to land on Randall, surviving his dodge option. Nomic has to recover too, though, so he pulls Doc towards stage with him during PK Rocket. Nomic defends himself on landing with a nair, but in panic, he leg sweeps the wrong way. Then in his final chance to attack, he tries a pivot grab, but Doc beats him to the punch with another life-saving up special. Awesome! Seconds later, Doc sitting at 140%, Nomic goes for his trusty falling nair into sweep into throw. Nomic was just staying close to Doc his whole last stock and landing a lot of his moves. And so he ends the game with another neutral air setup. Game 2. Dr. Dak goes PS2 and Incin. I don't think I've ever seen Doc's Incineroar ever before that day, but hey, it was Doc's choice, right? Dr. Dak. In neutral, Doc tries for a dash attack, but Nomic wasn't even close to it. Nomic gets a sour spot forward air for first blood. 10 seconds into the fight, Doc tries for another approach, but just wasn't in range. He does side special, but Nomic whiff punishes it with 7 snake bites in a row. Then softly drops ledge with a PK absorb stun. Then catches Doc jumping out of neutral with a PK fire to complete the 0 to death edge guard. And this was only the first stock, folks. Later, Nomic approaches with a snake bite, but because of the very low knockback of that move, Doc was able to get a jab reversal. Then he charged the forward smash and caught Nomic trying to ledge jump. Doc getting one for himself. Dr. Dak. Up next, Doc tries for a raw forward air, but Nomic out of range of the attack finds an opening with PK fire. Doc rushes back to the stage with a high recovery, but Nomic punishes him after he landed. Nomic shoots a PK freeze, but Doc does down special. He timed it well, but the magic move was barely in the spot to hurt him, so unfortunately Doc wasn't able to counter it for the attack boost. And if Incin does down special in the air, his momentum comes to a halt, so Doc couldn't reach ledge either. Logic also comes to a halt in this game, because as Doc's final stock goes like this, Nomic cancels a ledge jump with a snake and went past Doc, but somehow his snake still bit him. Doc jumps back to stage with a forward air that misses, then he accidentally does up special away from ledge. Unfortunate, but that will be the 2-0 for Nomic. Nomic's next opponent was against newcomer Hoden. Game 1 on Yoshi's Story. First blood goes to the newcomer, as he has the reliable slingshot to shoot anytime he'd like. Hoden can also go fishing too, since they have a rod, but Nomic isn't a fish, so he runs underneath and takes the first stock with a headbutt. Next situation, Nomic is at ledge at 151%. Hoden's fishing hook couldn't snatch Nomic up since he has a fresh grab invincibility. Both players showing great respect for each other as both fighters hold shield in their positions. Hoden intelligently heads towards center stage and activates Lloyd Rocket at the same time in case Nomic approaches, but he was already doing a double jump PK kickers from way above. Nomic thought he found a chance to fall with a nair, but Hoden jumped and sniped him out of the sky with his slingshot. A bit later, in neutral, Hoden goes for pom-poms, but Nomic was a bit of distance away holding shield. but Hoden beautifully attacked with another instant pom-poms to catch Nomic dropping shield. Great awareness on the frame data, right, on Hoden's part. Nomic tethers to ledge as Hoden buries his Lloyd. And then Nomic drops ledge and aims a PK freeze from a ledge drop. Hoden tries to pressure Nomic by pulling him in with the fishing rod, but it's as if Nomic read that option and takes Hoden's second stock from right below the ledge. Last minute of the match. Hoden jumps back to stage with a slingshot. Hoden lands and perfectly dodges Nomic, covering his landing, but then does a short hop nair. Nomic whiff punishes with a back throw, sending Hoden back off stage. Nomic goes for his tricky tether cancel reverse, PK fire. But Hoden wasn't even in the line of fire. He air dodged to ledge and does grab it, but Hoden dropped ledge looking for a reversal during Nomic's down smash. Personally, I think all Hoden had to do was wait out the attack and then punish with like a get-up attack, but that will be a 2 stock for Nomic in Game 1. Game 2. Newcomer Hoden's counter pick is going to be Nomic's counter pick. That's right. For the people who don't know, this is newcomer Hoden. So he wasn't used to the rule set of the UnDying Light tournament, so he desperately wanted to go FD, if I remember correctly. But that isn't on my stage list. The rules are, after Game 1, the rest of the set is played on counter picks only. So me in the chat during the live stream recommended some stages that are close to FD, so Mishima Dojo is what he chose. Hoden, starting off the fight hot. He tried for an immediate pot throw, but Nomic jumped out of the way and whiff punished with a PK fire for first blood. In the same minute, Hoden goes for a fishing rod in the corner, but Nomic blocks it, then approaches with a falling nair into sweep into 3 PK stomps in a row, and finishes it all with a forward smash, killing Hoden at 99% towards that right blast zone. Pretty crazy present to die at, but you know what else is crazy? What Hoden did as a rebuttal. Both fighters are face to face at a distance. Nomic barely lands the PK freeze, but Hoden lashes his fishing hook onto Nomic's shirt and cancels the magic attack, as well as laying on some damage by slamming him into the floor. Nomic bounces off the ceiling, and Hoden tries to go for another attack, but Nomic blocks it in time. Nomic was able to whiff punish with a sweep, but Hoden was able to intercept with an umbrella swing to take their first stock. Up next, Nomic has Hoden in the air and tried to intercept their landing with a dash attack. Hoden goes for a roll in, even though they did have space already. Nomic chased Hoden with an air, but only where they just were. Hoden tries to grab Nomic with their bug net, but Nomic's sweep being too quick interrupts it and combos it into back throw for his second stock taken. Later in the fight, as Hoden was busy burying a Lloyd rocket, Nomic jumped at him. So Hoden got a free zone off that and sniped Nomic out of the air to even the stocks up. In his last interaction of the fight, Hoden goes for a grab, not in range, and spot dodged by Nomic for good measure, whiff punishes with a sweet spot F-tilt. Then, in case Hoden fast falls, Nomic covers that option with a PK freeze, but Hoden double jumps and falls with a fishing rod. Unfortunately, he miscalculates the range on a second dash attack, and Nomic was able to intercept with a forward throw to end Game 2. Very close match between the two competitors. Game 1, Nomic vs. Evanster. The rematch. Last time IDW went up against Nomic was in the last tournament held on August 30th, 2025. And he actually took Game 1. But the 2-1 set went to Nomic with a PK fire snipe off stage on IDW's counterpick, Kalos. But this time around, IDW is going Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo and Kazooie. Game 1 was on Yoshi's story. First blood goes to Nomic as he just ran at IDW over the top plat and fell off the side with a headbutt, catching his egg grenade in the process. Later in the neutral, IDW was on the right plat hatching an egg grenade with Nomic near left ledge. Instead of using the grenade, it looks to me as if IDW was baiting Nomic to approach so he can intercept with an overhand. But it's whiff punished by a PK fair, and down goes IDW's first stock. IDW was doing good at keeping Nomic off stage with counter punches and such. Then, a little bit of range management coming out from both fighters. Nomic goes for back air? Personally, I have no idea why, because IDW was in front of him when he threw that out. But that option is what's going to get him killed. IDW evens up the stocks. Later in the fight, IDW has pushed Nomic to ledge with his relentless offense. He has set up his zoning game, a grenade bouncing towards the ledge Nomic is holding, and some kazooie eggs in case he rolls from there. Nomic times the rolls and avoids both egg projectiles, but IDW made the mistake of relying on the eggs too much that he kept shooting even after he landed right in front of him. Nomic counterpunches with a sweep and up throw. Last moments go like this. Nomic approaches IDW with a forward air, but IDW blocks it. IDW was ready to counterpunch, but Nomic intelligently uses an attack with fast frame data to intercept anything IDW had coming. Nomic tried comboing it into F-tilt, but it was the sour spot, so IDW only took a little bit of damage and knockback. Both fighters go for an aggressive option. IDW with a full hop overhand, at the same time, Nomic with a short hop neutral air. These options switching their spots on the map. IDW tries for a raw Wonder Wing, but IDW has been looking for lots of those this whole match, and this time, Nomic was ready for the counter option. The Wonder Wing lasted so long, it placed IDW on the very edge of the stage, where Nomic, well, disgracefully was able to start the down air on the back of his head, carry him off the stage, then end game 1 with a spike. In game 2, IDW counters to Joker. Personally, I wonder why he went Banjo-Kazooie in the first place. I think he was just dipping a toe in the water to see how it felt before he made the decision to jump in, right? In game 1, Nomic ended it with a 2-stock, so maybe Evan wasn't feeling too confident with the Banjo and Kazooie. Anyways, game 2, IDW counterpicks to Saffron City, a stage that is rarely chosen in these tournaments. It is quite pleasant on the eyes. First blood goes to Nomic as he intercepts IDW falling with an air of his own. Now, this first stock was very interesting. IDW in the middle of the map, Nomic standing above Porygon. Both fighters go for their options, neither land, and Nomic knows IDW won't give him the approach, so Nomic goes for PK Thunder and chases him with it. When IDW finally got close to where Nomic wanted him, he hit himself with the Thunder and took the first stock with a PK Rocket. After some patient play from Nomic on the yellow skyscraper, IDW finally gets Arsene online and decides to approach. Nomic backs up and tries for a PK freeze on the moving platform, but that platform started moving upwards. So, IDW is right underneath for an easy forward air to take a stock. Seconds later, Nomic gets an intercepting sweep into F-tilt to send IDW flying to the left, then performs a beautiful roar PK freeze. But IDW was ready with the counter. He goes for a down special to absorb the hit and gain power to summon Arsene once again. IDW tries his dodge of a PK fair and lands, but Nomic's sweep is just too fast, man. You'd think this guy only does leg days 7 days a week, like bro. A sweep and a back throw will be a second stock for Nomic. Later in the fight, Nomic F-tilts IDW and bounces him off the wall of the Sylph building. Then tries to read where IDW might land. IDW lands with a simple but clean back air. IDW tries to combo off the wall with a forward air, but Nomic falls to the back air and lands the spike hitbox. Nomic continues to chase, but IDW jumps over that next option. Nomic wasn't done yet as he falls with another attack, but IDW is ready to whiff punish with a forward smash. Then, Nomic does a reverse absorb and wasn't close enough to the ledge for his tether. Nomic tries one last chance to not SD by shooting a PK fire in the opposite direction, right away from the stage, and use that pushing momentum and use his last option, the PK rocket. And unfortunately, Nomic was only inches away from the ledge, unable to avoid the SD. Personally, I don't really know how Nomic managed to do that, right? The fight between these two looked good so far, right? And all IDW did was F-smash him off the level, right? I don't know. As for the last few moments of this fight, a funny happened. A big funny. IDW intelligently uses the giant size of Saffron City to avoid any of Nomic's sweep setups and survive the match by simply jumping away. But then an unexpected hazard appeared as IDW was so focused on intercepting an approach from Nomic, Venusaur creeped up from behind him and took that stock at 139%. I'm sure Nomic was happy. He didn't have to deal with that playstyle for another 4 minutes. And now, Game 1. Ladies and gents, This was the set that established the current king of the UnDying Light tournament. The king would be the one with the most victories in this tourney's history, by the way, for the people who don't know. And I'm going to remind you later, too, so you don't forget. Let me analyze the stocks to see how Nomic achieved his title. Game 1, we go to Yoshi's story as usual, but what's not usual is Meowier chose Joker. Their first brawl was back in tourney number 4, and surprisingly, these two are the only rivals when it comes to their total wins, not as in matchup count. Because there has been tournaments Meowier joined that Nomic hasn't, and some tourneys where Meowier was a no-show, but Nomic was. Interesting. But anyways, Nomic versus Meowier in tourney number 9. Meowier approaches with a very aggressive nair, but Nomic blocks it and counterpunches for first blood. Then in only the first 30 seconds, Meowier was able to intercept a recovery landing from Nomic after he did up special from an awkward position. Then classic Meowier keeps up the pressure by running off stage and going for a 1-2 kick. Also, I just realized Joker's dash attack and forward air look identical. Interesting. Anyways, this aggro option gets countered by Nomic's PK kicks, taking the stock at only 60%. Personally, I think Meowier ran off the stage so boldly is because they're using Joker, who has a pretty decent recovery option, unlike Terry, where his is very obvious and exploitable. Meowier does make up for the mistake with a simple but clean edge hog. Then I think Nomic panicked, as he did PK Thunder early, but instead of trying to recover with it, he tried to zap his opponent. And he SD'd. Next, Nomic scoops Meowier out of the air with a nair and drags Meowier down into an F-tilt, taking his second stock. Meowier isn't out of this just yet though, as Meowier goes for a second jump mix-up that they wanted earlier, and this time it pays off. Meowier fast falls with a back air that catches Nomic jumping away from center stage. Nomic brilliantly was ready for the Arsene projectile to absorb it. Meowier shot it a tad early for him to heal from it though. Nomic uses his double jump, but doesn't feel safe to approach above or beside the ledge, so he gets into position to tether, but Meowier is ready to intercept his recovery with an Arsene back air. Afterwards, Meowier just chases and chases Nomic, but his defensive play and interceptions helps him survive any strong Arsene attacks. Then, when Meowier grabs a ledge, after chasing Nomic off stage, Meowier goes for a ledge roll that Nomic punishes with PK Fire. Game 2, Meowier goes for the double counter pick, PS2 and Mr. Belmont. That's right, I even did research for this, check this out. Meowier does have that Belmont skin on their belt. Skin. Meowier does have that Belmont skill. We saw the Belmonts come out as early as tourney number 3, when they went Richter against the Drakester. It threw me off at the time because I'm just so used to Meowier going Terry that the Joker, then Simon, it was all just mind-boggling. Anyways, game 2 begins, and Nomic grabs the holy water right out of the air as soon as the fight starts. No one hit each other yet, but I just wanted to show off Nomic's skills in this game. That was pretty sick. He caught it out of the air first try. But Meowier's gonna land right in the middle of the Pokeball artwork and land the back hit of the neutral air for first blood. Then, lots of up specials. Then, Nomic tried to land at 144%, so Meowier throws an axe to catch him out of the air. But Nomic times the air dodge. Personally, I think Nomic tried to predict a whip from the distance Meowier was at and spot dodge it, but instead Meowier runs at him with a dash attack, taking the first stock. Seconds later, Meowier approaches with a short hop nair, but Nomic jumps over and falls to the nair himself. Nomic sweeps the wrong way, but Meowier didn't move. They just sat and shield, expecting a follow-up attack, so Nomic just turns around and up throws to even the stocks up. Later in the fight, a very slippery match between the two champions unravel due to the ice-type form. Meowier does an anti-air dash attack, sending Nomic towards the right ledge. Then tries another anti-air forward smash, but it barely whips the feet of Nomic. I don't know if Nomic wanted a hurt box shift with his forward air like this, but either way, he avoided it. Very clutch. But because of that, Nomic was able to approach with a sweep into back throw. Then to clean up the edge guard, he zapped poor Simon with a PK Thunder. In neutral, Meowier lands an intercepting up special, sending Nomic sky high. Then, with the wind mechanic of the flying type form, Meowier was able to double jump very quickly to where Nomic was falling and land an up air. to even the stocks back up. Speaking of intercepting moves to find the stock, Nomic's snake bites Meowier before he could do forward air. Then Meowier's counter option was to down air? Personally, I don't know why they did this, because they landed right in front of Nomic and practically gave him the grab. After a back throw and Meowier's low recovery option, PK Thunder is going to intercept Meowier's recovery, and a buffered air dodge SD is going to give Nomic a 2-0 so far. Game 3. Meowier runs it back to PS2, but this time, going is tried and true. Nomic falls on Meowier with a neutral air, but does not get first blood. Meowier counterpunches with a jab and a power dunk combo. Seconds after that, Meowier falls with a kick. Nomic tries to intercept with a kick of his own in disadvantage, but Meowier times it and spaces another kick to take the first stock in only 20 seconds. Now this is the Meowier I know. Moments later, in a brilliant stall in the air by Meowier using the fans to their advantage, Meowier tries to roll in as an approach, but Nomic sees it from a mile away and punishes that option with a PK kick, then completes the edge guard by freezing Meowier right out of the sky. Not too long later, Nomic is at ledge and Meowier is ready to counter. Meowier tries to call out a regular getup with forward smash, but Nomic lets go of ledge and did PK absorb for some reason? Then tethers back to ledge. I'm not sure what Nomic was going for here, but the regrab ledge made him lose his invincibility. And he got down tilt spammed, then he air dodged downwards, and SDs because of that. Later, Meowier's at ledge as the stage transforms into the ice type. Will the slippery stage mess with Nomic and let Meowier land a go combo? No. Meowier does a ledge roll that Nomic tries to punish with a back air. Meowier goes for another roll to get closer to their opponent, then somehow this lands, letting Nomic combo it into an up tilt to take his second stock. Definitely some sort of weird hitbox, because Meowier was already done his shin kick attack. I don't know. Before the match ends, Meowier shoots a power wave as Nomic is trying to land. Just as he did though, Meowier hits him with another shoulder bash, sending Nomic back off stage. It almost killed, but Nomic lives and tethers to ledge. Meowier tries another shoulder bash, but Nomic dropped below ledge and tries to defend himself with a PK freeze, but Meowier blocks it. With no ledge invincibility for Nomic, Meowier tries to kick his hands when he regrabs ledge, but Nomic was already sending a second cold counter option, freezing Meowier in place. But the mash by Meowier lets them break out of the ice faster than Nomic would have liked and was able to punish the regrab to ledge to finally clutch a game, making it a 2-1. Game 4. We finally take the set to their home field. Nomic lost last match as Meowier's Terry finally showed up to the party. Hey, better late than never. Unlike the first blood of this match, Meowier punching Nomic in the face with a burning knuckle in 1 second. Yeah, the UnDying like China, baby. Nomic's first option was to jump back and shoot a PK fire, but Meowier did the long version of the special move, so it was able to reach and catch him backing up. But it didn't stop there. Meowier shot a power wave, but Nomic jumped over and shot a PK fire that lands. Meowier's quick counter option, crack shoot, hits Nomic before he could even react. Then Meowier double jumps, then takes Nomic's first stock with a burning knuckle. Nomic was only at 80%. Damn, that's an early kill. But you know what else is an early kill? Nomic kicking Meowier while still in angel mode. Gets the jab lock because Meowier failed to tech to send him off stage with his stick, then snipes him out of the air with PK freeze. Now that's an eye for an eye. Moments later, Meowier approaches with an aerial power dunk, but because Meowier intelligently did it at a certain height, Meowier got the lagless version, and it's set up for another power dunk combo. After a bit of dancing from both fighters, Meowier catches Nomic with an air, then catches Nomic again with a back air this time. Nomic getting a little too comfortable around the 2-time, right? Later, both fighters jump at one another. Nomic lands the drag down air into the weak F tilt. Then again, Meowier missing another tech. Nomic gets a second stock from the jab lock. Last few seconds of Game 4. Both fighters were pressing buttons. I know they are just using cover fire, but to a casual, this got real mashy. Lastly, Meowier approaches with a side special. Nomic tries to counterattack with a back air, but it misses. Then immediately he tries to intercept with an F tilt. but Meowier blocks it and finds his own interception with an aerial power duck, pulling Nomic into the attack, finally taking the stock at 157%. Meowier climbs up the ranks with his trusty Shoto, on their way to reverse the set. Game 5 of the UnDying Light Tournament number 9. This is the fight that determined the 3-time champ of history. And this is how it was done. Nomic lost twice in a row after defeating Meowier twice in a row, and his counterpicked is Mishima Dojo. Meowier starts the fight caliente, flying at Nomic, trying to get first blood with a burning knuckle. Nomic was ready this time with his counterpunch for first blood though. Later, Meowier tries for a raw power geyser, but Nomic rolls out of the way. Then, the whiff punish with a back throw, sending Meowier crashing through the right wall. Nomic tries to intercept the recovery, but Meowier dodges his special move now. Then, very strange approach coming out from Nomic. He goes for the PK stomps right in neutral. Meowier saw that coming from a mile away though, as it was blocked and counterpunched with an auto turnaround Buster Wolf combo. Meowier starts off Game 5 with the advantage. Later, both fighters clank moves, but before Meowier could press a button, Nomic zapped him right through the left wall, just in time to even up the stocks. Then, near the right corner, Nomic intercepts with a jump from Meowier and landed 2 headbutts in a row, and kept up the approach with some down airs, pulling Meowier to the ground. Nomic didn't connect the last down air for the spike hitbox, but a quick sweep keeps him an advantage. He tries to combo it into a grab, but Meowier got out! He was able to break the combo with an aerial power dunk for a second stock. Damn, even Nomic Snake knew he f***ed up. Nomic Snake, though, was going to regain trust in his owner's abilities. As soon as Nomic returned from the Angel Plat, he dropped with a PK kick, and another catching Meowier rolling in. Then catching a landing. That's a bing bang boom to even up the stocks and to a fresh start. Both of these fighters at 0%. In the last few moments between the two champions of the UnDying Light Tournament went like this. I'm gonna explain it to y'all. Meowier's power dunk sends Nomic flying, and then they shoot a power wave because hey, why not? Nomic fast falls with a forward air. After this, he blocks a forward smash from Meowier, trying to catch Nomic's landing, then counter punches. Then, Meowier, learn to tech, brother. Another miss on the tech by Meowier gives Nomic the jab lock combo. Nomic sends Meowier through the left wall like he just hit a home run. Nomic goes for cover fire, but Meowier techs this time! Wow, hooray! Meowier actually tagged! Meowier teched. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Anyways, Meowier techs just in time, landing safely and avoiding the PK freeze. But then, Meowier relied too heavily on the roll and approach option and was caught lacking with a swinging that night. Nomic became the official king of the UnDying Light Tournament. And for those who don't know, right, I said I'd remind you earlier, didn't I? I would say I would remind you earlier. The king is basically the player with the most first place victories. See, I reminded you. It's going to be fun and exciting to see how long Nomic can hold on to his new earned title, and if there will be any new competitor looking to take Nomic down. Thanks for watching, everybody, and congratulations, Nomic, on the win and becoming the 3-time champ.
Bye.